that comes out. Um, since with Naroi, it makes the K9 package able to sort of bridge into Vanquish Soul stuff by giving access to like protected Saryujas.
Okay. All right. So, I am officially and formally streaming now. So let's go ahead and start off the top with a quick introduction of the setup. We are here reacting to the most recent and effective from September 15th Forbidden Limited card list for Yu-Gi-Oh! What we'll do is we will go through each of the sections. Actually, I want to start with the unlimits because that's probably the least conversation that's going to go into the game, or into what we're talking about. And then we'll sort of work our way down and discuss implications for like decks that are going to be affected by it. And whoops, Daisy. That are going to be affected by it, and then, you know, potentially what we think the impact is going to be on the format as a whole going forward. So starting with the unlimits, right, let's look at Glow Up Bulb. Do we think anything's going to happen here other than potentially making, you know, weird combo decks with like Yummy and Snake Eyes?
No, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Like, yeah.
Okay, Masterpiece to 3.
No.
Now, I think this has the potential to be a slightly more impactful change with the new like Solemn archetype that's coming out, right? Because isn't there, but there was new like counter trap support stuff coming out soon, wasn't there?
What makes you think counter trap decks would play Masterpiece? Like Masterpiece wasn't even that good in True Draco anymore. He was just a brick.
I guess that's fair. I guess I was thinking more along the lines of like, yeah, just like stun deck True Draco. But yeah,
move on.
Like, that's fair.
These aren't worth like really
Morphing Jar, Sky Blaster also knows. Nope. Snake Eye Ash and Poplar potentially.
So this is the first one that actually is worth kind of talking about.
So this to me, I feel is a point of concern, because
I mean this archetype, like, it doesn't have OSS, so it lost all of the starters in the form of the Diabell engine. And then it also got Closed Moon banned, which means it no longer has that backup plan of any 2 monsters. And Bonfire is limited, so that's already even more starters that it lost. So it's like, sure, you have 3 Ash, 1 Bonfire, like that is not enough starters, like, remotely.
So I guess my point of concern is that we're going to start seeing a theme with cards that are either coming off or being removed from the list. And that theme is that there's potential for like these cards being used in combo decks, right? Combo decks that take longer with their turns, that do some more unfair stuff. And I feel like we were moving in a really good direction of the game kind of shifting away from those style of decks. And now I don't know if that's the case.
I mean, that's an okay point, but also I'm objectively speaking, right? You look at like one Snake Eye Ash versus like a Wakaushi in your hand.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me that you think Ash is more deadly than Wakaushi nowadays. Or even an Ostinato. I mean, Ostinato literally does everything in the game. So it's like yeah, it's more combo stuff, but if it's not good combo stuff, it's like we already have like bad combo stuff like in spades in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, yeah, maybe Ash and Poplar get used in some degenerate combo pile, sure, but it's gonna be a bad degenerate combo pile if that's the case.
So, well, I guess my concern is like this. Does this make Snake Eyes an adequate enough engine to play combined with other things, right? So, like, are we going to see Snake Eyes Canine or you know, Snake Eye Yummy combo piles that play cards like 1-for-1 to try and bridge access into multiple things? I mean, cards like Glow Up Bulb now are one card like, full combo for Yummy.
Okay, well, sure, in a vacuum, yeah, it's 1 card full combo for Yummy. I mean, there are a million 1 card full combos for Yummy if you think about it that way. it's like, well, but if you use Ash as a starter or Glow Up Bulb was a starter for Yummy, you're turning on Izuna, which the deck that was the major selling point of Yummy. You never turned on Izuna.
That's true.
And you had the discussion with Nikolai before of like, oh, whether it's worth putting, what was it, Steam the Cloak in the deck, and it's like, well, sure, Steam the Cloak is a 1-card starter for Yummy, as is many other cards. But if the starter is just strictly worse than your normal starters, then why would you even play it? Because it just turns on Izuna for no reason.
I suppose that's fair. I guess the concern for me is, Yummy combo pile decks, right? Where it's less about
a combo pile deck.
Well, less about being like a neat 40 1-card combo deck that plays board breakers and or non-engine, and it turns more into like one of those 60 card degenerate pile decks that has multiple engines that ends on much stronger end boards than what Yummy normally does. Now, I don't know if that is strictly better than I don't think that that's going to be better than what Yummy is already doing. I mean, the deck's insane, and we're going to get into that with the rest of the list coming out here. But I think that there's the potential for these pile decks to see some sort of a resurgence with some of these cards coming off the list. And
the one thing I'll throw out here is that a lot of those like old style like combo slot pile decks existed before like the Charmies and even before Nib. Have we really seen like combo? I guess
Snake Eyes
was like no, because like Snake Eyes was still a like it played like 3 engines, right? Like it had like Snake Eyes, the Diabell Star stuff, and like Fiendsmith. So it's like I don't think we've really seen. Okay, sure. I was calling that the same as, but whatever. It was still like one like cohesive archetype basically that also had like a Fiendsmith attached. So I don't think we've really seen these like combo pile slop decks that are like playing Armageddon Knight and like Dark Grepher or like Phantom Skyblaster, Glow Up Bulb. Like I don't really think. Like, sure, Snake Eyes, Poplar, and Ash are like enablers for like that style of deck. But also, like when Snake Eyes was around, Fua was still like $130 a piece, and I really think like the deck saw a lot of success off of the back of that still being true. And a lot of players just weren't willing to fork over like $400 for a playset of Fuas.
Whereas now it's like $60
People
to
have
get
them.
high rarity copies of it, because I think it's like what, 16 a copy.
I haven't looked, but you get what I'm saying.
It's probably a lot, because wasn't it just reprinted?
What?
Or was Perulia reprinted?
They've both been reprinted.
It's probably less than 16 now.
It's going for that's about that's 16s. Yeah, that's 16s.
It doesn't matter. The point stands that you're not spending $400 on a playset of Fua.
Yeah.
So everybody has access to these cards.
Yeah.
So I feel like combo pile slop is just something that like people could try, but isn't gonna find success anymore.
The new time rules also discourage. Based on the fact that if it takes 20 minutes to take a turn, you probably don't want to play that deck.
Yeah, I mean, combo slot piles also get worse without like closed bin too. Like just having easy access to Fiendsmith Engine just after like putting out as many bodies as you can was pretty big for those kinds of deck, I'd say. But I think the Snake Eyes stuff is like fine. They are up for experimentation. They could see some use, but I don't think they're gonna really be shaking up the meta.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Should I go ahead and pick up some Rescue Ace Impulses now?
I would. One. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. I think it got reprinted in one of the rarity collections, though, so you should be okay.
Yeah, it's like... No, Rescue Ace Impulse didn't. It got printed in the Megatins, but it's still, like, not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, Dragonic Diagram.
Not gonna do anything.
Yeah, only for Draco and maybe one of those... pile decks. Like, I guess Dinos might like it, right?
Dino has better support than Dragonic Diagram.
That's true.
Yeah, I think True Draco really needs Card of Demise back for it to be like even worth considering. I think diagram has gotten worse and worse over time, like as a field spell. So it coming back to 3 is like kind of whatever.
Oh, fair enough. Lightning Storm to 3. So this is also another interesting discussion to be had, which is
this an interesting discussion?
I think so, because I think it opens a gateway to a bigger discussion about the potential philosophy that Konami's hoping to take going forward, which is board breakers over hand traps. In the sense that, I mean, you look at a deck like Yummy, that is very easily a board breaker deck. By removing board breakers from this list, and there's another change that we're going to see further on in this list that actually allows for board breakers to get even better. I'm wondering if what we're going to see in the meta is a slight shift away from hand traps and towards board breakers, and Lightning Storm to 3 could be the first step of that, right? Because isn't there those new forbidden droplets cards also coming out?
Dark Lords. I mean, like, yes, but I don't know. I feel like Lightning Storm to 2 was always kind of a weird decision.
Yeah,
like
no, that's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
I mean, I don't know if we can look at a Lightning Storm to 3 and be like, oh, this is Konami changing their design philosophy.
Well,
like,
so
there needs to be more sweeping changes for us to say that.
There's a card to 1 that we're going to see later on. Yeah, that allows board breakers to also get better. I
mean, Judgment was not always an answer to board breakers.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Lastly, Zodiac Barrage. I think we will see Ryziel Zodiac instead of Ryziel Mitsu, because certain cards came back. X at 1 means that it's still in the game, and Zodiac's level 4. So, where's my Infernity Launcher? Where's my Infernity Launcher? Give me back Launcher.
I did go ahead and just pick up a couple copies of Barrage as well, but
oh, that's a good idea.
Because I think I only own 1, so it was just
I think I also only own 1.
I don't know. I guess it could be possible to try that. I mean, without Broad Bowl though, it's like, and it's like you don't really want to be popping your Ryziel card, so it's like, like I guess it's 3 copies of E-Telly, which is something. Rat Pier's also still at 1, so it's like you get an extra Dryden. I don't think that's the same as a Murakumo.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I mean, Detonator's still around.
Okay, so you've got a Dryden and a Detonator.
It's a whole lot of popping cards.
I actually think like what could be interesting is that I have long been known as a fan of Zodiac Eldritch, and the Eldritch cards did get some pretty good new support.
Yeah. And you can make Varudris before your 5th summon using the new Eldritch stuff too.
Sure, but you can also just play under 4 summons too.
Well, I'm saying for Zodiac Eldritch specifically, like decent chance that you're going to be summoning more than 5 times.
Not really. Most of the time, it's just Trident with like a couple materials under it.
I guess we'll see.
Like you summon on your opponent's turn, or at least you did. It might be different now, but I don't know. It probably won't do anything, but Barrage is a good card, and I don't know. Maybe it can compete. Certainly, the power ceiling of all of the decks has gone down a pretty significant amount. So.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, any last thoughts on the elements before we move to the semis?
Nope. And there's a couple interesting ones, but overall, I don't think they're going to impact the meta all that much.
All right, over to the semi limits. This was interesting, I guess. Only 1 semi limit. You can tell this is not the OCG because there's only 1 card put to 2. We are looking at Branded Fusion. So Branded Fusion to 2, I don't think changes anything other than giving us more opportunities to complain about Sanctifier.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Nothing much to say about this, really.
do we expect to see more branded running around? Because there's a guy at my locals who's been playing it, and I'm seeing him at table 1 a whole lot early on in the tournament, and it's not like he's playing against, you know, bad decks. So I'm wondering if there's opportunities there for branded to get a little bit better, but
Brandon has always been a competent deck.
Mm.
It's very hard to play. You need a very dedicated pilot, and there are decks that do more with less skill requirement.
Yeah.
And so sure, this gives the deck more consistency, and the players who are playing branded will be very happy about
Yeah.
this. I hope I'm not sitting on the other side of a sanctifier lock, but this is not gonna change everything,
Yeah.
I'll say that the sanctifier locks are a lot worse now than they were before. I think Ra's Disciple is your best option. So
I've seen people do Ito.
Yeah, Ito as well.
So Ito got errataed, or not errataed. It was a mistranslation from the start. If you look at the text from the new Megatins, I think it. I'm trying to remember what it might. Let me go look it up. Ito, yeah. If you look up the quarter century secret rare, it's let's see.
Well, so the question I have is, do we think that branded fusion getting bumped to 2 is indirectly a Draco Tail buff, right? Because now branded Draco Tail maybe a little bit more justifiable, right? You know, you give branded the turn 0 gameplay aspect, and you know, Mirror Jade's still a heck of a card,
or at least that's what Alistair said. I don't know if Ito is. Maybe Ito is still something.
But why would you ever play branded with Draco Tail?
What do you mean, the fusion archetypes where you can fuse cards? They're already playing some of the they're already playing Cartesia. You know, you can make a branded Draco Tail combo deck, or I guess not combo, but larger pile deck, and just make it fusion heavy, because the Draco Tail cards lock you into fusion, branded fusion locks you into fusion.
I mean, the larger the deck size you make it, the less often your 5 mana is going to be live.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, the whole point of Draco Tail is that it wants to play very efficiently, play very low to the ground, you know, make every move get as much value as possible. And it's it's not really suited to be a combo deck. I mean, okay, you could do that, but then it would be more of a branded deck using a Draco Tail engine than a Draco Tail using a branded engine.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You know, resolving a 5 mana and fusing with a tragedy, not tragedy. Is it tragedy? What's the one that searches?
It is tragedy.
Yeah,
but
tragedy.
I mean, that sounds.
The search starters for branded fusion, right?
No, that sounds like ass, dude. I would rather just fuse with a Shaddoll Beast.
No, that's fair. Yeah, get a window on board. Yeah, totally reasonable. Yeah, fair enough. I guess we will see what happens, but branded fusion to 2 certainly does not break the meta in any way, shape, or form. All right, looks like Hunter is gonna hop in real quick based on Twitch chat? Question mark. Also, Mirror Jade nerfed because of time rules. I don't get that one. Why is Mirror Jade nerfed because of time rules?
I guess just branded in general tends to grind for a really long time. And I guess maybe not Mirror Jade specifically, but the grind aspect of the deck.
Bobby Barrow, are you thinking not of Mirror Jade, but of Masquerade, the one that makes them pay life points?
That's probably makes more sense.
All right, well, I'm going to move on because I don't know. Oh, there he is. Hey, Hunter. Hello?
issue.
Well, he joined. Certainly in the call. All right. Well, anyway, moving on from the semi-limits, we're going to hop on over to the limits, and this is where I think a lot of the discussion is going to happen, right? Because the actual bans seem very straightforward. So let's start from the top here. Extraisial to 1.
As he should be.
As he should be, or even worse. But I think Extraisial to 1 is probably the least offensive thing that you could do to Ryziel.
They probably could have put Sword back to 3, honestly, because.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey, there you are.
We can hear you now.
Sorry, I exist now. What was the question?
Extraisial to 1.
I don't think that needed to happen, but whatever.
You also play Mitsuryziel, like.
Yeah, but like the card is like fine. Like it's strong, but it's like, I don't know.
I think that it is arguably the single best starter in the game right now, outside of like Obedient Schooled.
There are pretty easy ways to deal with it. It's whatever. It is what it is.
Brian, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's a really strong starter. Like, even though Ryziel has kind of faded into obscurity, like X is still really annoying to deal with. So I don't mind it going to 1. I mean, I was never a Ryziel player, so I mean, you know me. And like, I think they could have put Sword back to 3 probably if they wanted to give the deck a bone, because like Sword is like the worst starter. It's one of the better extenders, sure, but yeah.
Hunter?
X-Ryziel is broken. It just means that all that's going to happen is that they put 7th Ascension in their deck, and they're going to play Heraldic Beast Ryziel, and then Hand Loop you. And then Protoss is still legal, so haha, funny. Nice dummy deck, bro.
Oh yeah, Protoss is still legal, and so is, after this list, so is Banshee, which means that
and Duo Drive.
Snake and Duo Drive and Detonator. The Snake Eyes card's coming back too with Banshee.
Give me 1 second, gentlemen.
Yeah, you're good. Malice P. Dormouse. Now this is something that I was interested to start the conversation, because like these next 2 cards, Brian, I am sorry. Like this was probably the worst possible list for you based on the 2 decks that you play.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Well, I would say like, I mean, 1 less Dormouse is pretty bad. Like the deck does have some consistency issues, but I mean, arguably the deck gets more out of the fact that like Lancia is coming out of like every single side deck now, I feel like. So I think Malice is still in a fine spot if you like know what you're doing. But yeah.
Do you think the deck will play Summon Sork at all?
Summon Sork?
I
guess she did come off.
Yeah, because she's
her errata?
Summon Sorceress. This card, 2 monsters with the same type except tokens. If this card is link summoned, you can this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand in defense position to your opponent's zone this card points to. So just turn an excess body in hand into Evenly not being live, Lightning Storm not being live, Obedient School not being live, Engage not being live. You can target 1 face-up monster this card points to, special summon 1 monster from your deck in defense position with the same type as that monster to a zone this card points to, but negate its effects. So basically
locked into the type that you summon.
Yes.
I mean, this is.
Hey guys, I'll be right back a little bit later. My dog got out, so give me like 10 minutes.
You're good, no worries.
No, this is. I think this is not. I don't think Summon Sorceress is like playable anymore. Like, because, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but they basically put her 2 effects into 1, right? Or it used to be that she doesn't have to target the one that she summoned to the opponent's side, right?
No, I don't think.
So you have to summon 1 to your opponent's side? and then you summon one from your deck with the same type as you summon from your hand. So to give you an idea, you summon a fiend from your hand to their side to summon out like a Yubel monster from your deck.
Mhm.
If that makes it easier.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to remember what her pre-errata text was.
The pre-errata text, it was 2 separate effects. It was,
Yeah.
usually you target
Right.
one that was in any of the zones, but now you can only target the one that you give to them.
Yeah, exactly. So this change, like at least I feel like it makes her like kind of not playable. Like you need to have enough link materials to make her, but then also have a card in your hand to summon to the opponent's side, and then that whole effect can I mean it can still get ashed, and like even in Malice, like oh also I guess we haven't gotten to it yet, but like Splash Mage hit is arguably worse than like Dormouse limit.
Yeah.
Like Splash Mage was like a really pretty crucial extender, and I just don't see in any situation where like you would make summon sorcerers over like just summoning um like one of your Malice Link 3s. Because like I mean imagine like a hand of like let's say like Chessie plus Bestial, right? It's like okay, yeah, sure, normal Chessie, make a Link 1, summon Bestial.
Mhm.
I mean I would probably rather make Red Ransom straight off instead of going for summon sorcerers.
That's true.
Summon sorcerers is not adding any type of resiliency or extension to your board.
I think it's an interesting way to approach like the reason why we were playing Queen Query and K9 VS, right? Give your opponent a body, and then I'll extend further from there. But it does feel a little bit win more.
I think I think the only consideration for Summon Sork is that like she kind of bridges like things now. So theoretically, right, if you were playing like some kind of Cyberse deck that
Mhm.
Had like a Malice engine, let's say you were playing I don't know fucking Mathmech, and then you have a bunch of bodies with Mathmech that you could just put into a Summon Sorceress, and then okay, but the part that still kills me is that like you need to still have a card in your hand to use for her effect, which is like you're going really minus. And let's say all that comes true. You have all the excess link material to make summon sorcerers. You have the card in hand to just use for her effect. Then you can just I guess e-telly a Dormouse from deck,
Mhm.
which could be decent, but you gotta wonder at that point. It's like well, if your opponent didn't have like Ash for your summon sorcerers, didn't have like Nib for your whole board, didn't have like Fua or Perulia, it's like I mean you were probably winning anyway, right?
Well, unless it's a bunch of board breakers.
I mean I don't think Lightning Storm to 3 is going to change. Is going to make people switch from. Oh hey Alistair, it's going to make people change from Charmies to board breakers.
Well, Charmy's help them draw into the board breakers. But yeah, no, I see your point. It certainly win more in a lot of senses. Maybe something cool can come from Summon Sork being back, but I guess Malice being one of them does not necessarily come true.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, it might open up like maybe in the future they either put Gold Sark up or they put like White Rabbit up, which I think would be like a fine exchange because they're like worse starters in a lot of ways. But that'll be like later ban lists.
Alistair, just to catch you up, we've been through the unlimits, the semis, and we just got through to Dormouse on the limits, so we're about to get to the next one. But before we do you have any opinions? Does anybody else have any opinions on Dormouse to 1?
I mean, I think honestly, they went a little hard on Malice, which a lot harder than I expected them to in ways that affects other Cyberse decks. Which I mean, if you go to the banned cards, you'll see what I mean. But like, I mean, I think this was always going to happen. The consistency of the deck, it's like you can still play the deck. It's just like you will get knocked over by a stiff breeze now. I think, which just doesn't feel that great, especially when you have like decks like Yummy that are hyper consistent, even though they do have like hits to that deck also. But I don't know. I think it's a good hit. This hit in particular is good. I think some of the other hits were not.
Maddie Brad just put in chat an interesting point, which is Malice has to play TB11 again.
You know what? Maybe.
Yeah, so it's probably up the Dormouse, up the cat, the Jesse, up the March Hare to 3, play TB11, and I guess pray.
I mean, TB11 doesn't solve the same issue. Like, I mean, is he suggesting TB11 like to make up for the Splash Mage hit, or because
well, so that and Dormouse being reduced count, right?
But Dormouse being reduced count doesn't get solved by TB11. Like, TB11 is only useful when you already have engine.
I suppose that's fair. Well, you start with Rabbit sets
Okay,
TB11.
So you already had engine.
I guess that's fair, right? Well, so what would be a better search? Like what? So let's go normal summon Rabbit, because I guess the combo is the exact same off normal summon Rabbit that it is. Well, maybe not, right? Because Splash Mage got hit.
All right, I'm back.
So
welcome back.
All right, where are we?
We're talking about Dormouse and whether or not TB11 has to be played in Malice again.
Yeah, it probably does. Just because, unfortunately speaking, you can't normal Rabbit anymore. Have a combo.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, Splash Mage being banned means you do need the TB11.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he is right.
Okay, Malice players, time to stop being behind. Start playing more traps in your deck. All right, Hunter, any final words on Dormouse to 1 before we move on to the Knife in My Heart?
No words on Mouse.
All right, Vanquish Soul Rosin to 1. Oh God, it hurts. It hurts just to say.
Well?
Yeah, we'll throw Stake Your Soul in as well because it's the same general conversation. So Stake Your Soul to 1 and Rosin to 1.
Rosin to 1 feels so bad because it's like now you're replacing copies of him and Stake Your Soul with like the Rescue Ace engine if you weren't already playing those, which means it's actually like between that and the Charmies, it's more likely you're also drawing into that one copy of Raisin, which means if you Holly Sue, like you might not be able to summon Raisin from deck, which is like pretty bad.
Yep.
Like I honestly would have traded like Stake Your Soul entirely for 2 copies of Raisin. Like
I agree with that. I think I would have traded the entire Canine engine to keep copies of Rosin. Like I get why they did it.
Was never getting hit.
Yeah, I know why they did it. Like Rosin to 1 does do a lot. It nerfs the Holly Sue if you also draw the Rosin.
Now hold on. Before we continue, sorry, I had to get up for a
second.
You're good.
You're good.
I think I've solved Vanquish Soul for Dex 4 vet.
Oh boy.
All right, so 3 Small World, 3 Durandal, you're good. You're Gucci. 3
well, so
you're golden.
So that's the discussion here, right? That's the discussion is basically what they've done by removing 2 Rosin and 2 Stake Your Soul is they've cut the number of starters that the deck has in half, right? And so now
deck in the dirt is what they did.
Yeah, they basically they took it out back and shot it. Now the deck is not unplayable, right? Like there are adequate cards that can be used to substitute for Rosin that don't change how the deck plays all that much. The issue is that those cards, 1, are never going to be as good as having seen the Rosin in your hand to begin with. 2, makes the deck less resilient to hand traps. 3, makes the deck brickier to begin with. And 4, aren't monsters, so drawing Sue plus Small World way worse, right? Like if I play Small World or I play Durandal or I play Thrust, right? You know, cards that fetch cards that fetch cards. The Droll hurts the deck way more now. Sue happening turn 0 is way less likely because there's 2 less names in the deck, like two less guaranteed names in the deck.
Well, you could theoretically like play a second border or something and like.
Sure, yes, but the overall concept is there's 2 less cards that were absolutely going to be in the deck that were a fire attribute, which was the attribute that we were already kind of cutting down on to begin with. Like at that point we were basically down to 3 Xiaolong, 3 Rosin, and 3 Ash. We were already down to kind of 9, and we weren't really adding anything extra fire in. Whereas like all of the other engine cards and hand traps that we were playing were going to be darks and earths. So fire just immediately gets way harder unless you're throwing in the Rescue Ace engine. And even that's introducing a new brick. Do we play Small Worlds again? Do we play Durandals again? Those aren't attributes. Drawing those doesn't feel nearly as good. Do we just load back up on Charmies and pray? Do we start main decking Phantasme so that if we do draw the Rosin in hand, we can put it back in deck so that Sue has something to summon from deck, right? Like there's so many things to discuss here. And I think the problem that I have with this list as somebody who plays this deck is I've been playing it for 2 years straight. And my first reaction every single ban list since this deck came out was always, how can I build Vanquish Soul for the new format? Today was the first time that I saw a ban list, and my first reaction was, it's time to stop playing the deck. Now, that might not be true. There might be an opportunity for this deck to still be playable, still be good. There might be builds that can make this work. But my initial reaction, and maybe it's an overreaction, is, wow, that sucks. What am I going to play now?
Damn. Body TBH. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I know.
I think the other thing that is significant to mention about this is that I don't think you can play Shifter anymore.
Interesting.
I think losing the one copy of Raisin just hurts so much more now.
I was gonna say DD Crow feels like kind of backbreaking if you go like normal Rosin, get like Impermed or Ash, and then like okay, go into Rock add back, and then you get DD Crow'd and you just
honestly even if you don't get Impermed, it probably still feels bad.
Oh yeah, even if I search and then link one,
you won't have another fire, and you need to get the fire back in your hand, and then you just like lose the game.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal.
Ugh, just hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart so much.
That hurts me too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think Rosin was a step too far. Stake Your Soul made perfect sense to me, and I think that there was other things that you could have hit. Hitting Rosin to me was a step too far, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Especially the 1. Like 2 would have been like fine.
2 would have been reasonable, I think.
2 would have been totally Rosinable.
Rosinable, yeah.
Rosinable? Is that what you said? That's so funny.
Yes. All right. We want to look at the rest of the limits while we mourn about the Vanquish Soul stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably have to make a more in-depth video discussing all of like the options and the weight of everything. I guess 7th Tachyon does become an option in Vanquish Soul too, right? Because it makes Rosin searchable.
So I was memeing
I guess,
about
but then you can't go into Rock, right? And that's kind of frustrating.
I think when Rosin was at 3, that didn't matter as much, but now that it's at 1, I think it does matter a lot more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll make a more in-depth video talking about all that stuff at some point in the near future here. Let's go ahead and move on so we don't hijack the stream and make it all about Vanquish Soul. Fiendsmith's Lacrima.
This one's cool. I actually like this a lot.
I mean, time rules changed. We sort of knew this was going to come back the second that the new time rules were implemented, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially with Moon Band, I actually quite like this as like a boost to like actual Light Fiend decks. But I mean, obviously any deck can still just play like 3 Engraver, 3 Trapped. But
yeah, there's also
I haven't been considering it. I guess Ryziel Fiendsmith is like kinda in a better thought, sort of. Like you lost Moon, but you still have Exciton.
I suppose so.
Yeah, well, I was going to say like there's a lot more like niche bridges like Exciton and Mellow Melody that still technically function. So I think there are some hybrids that will probably still work, but it's not as generic.
Yeah, there's like the Primite cards, right?
Yeah,
like
Primite Fiendsmith's still totally viable. Yeah,
I think the Primite version is. I actually was talking about this with a couple friends earlier, and I think the problem with the Primite version was the reason why that deck was powerful is because you started your turn with like Nib and a Bestial on your field, and you could go into full combo.
That's fair.
And you can't do that anymore.
That is fair.
Me personally,
still go Chaos Angel though. Sorry, go ahead, Hunter.
The playable Fiendsmith decks right now there's 4. It's Memento, Fiendsmith, Ryziel, the Goblin Biker one, is playable, and then it's Yubel. Those are the 4.
Does the Memento one actually work?
Yeah, it does still work. It's because they just make the rank 3 Goblin Biker guy. It's just the
Oh
same
yeah,
thing.
they do.
Technically, there's also Chimera Fiendsmith and Magical Musketeer, but it's
Yeah,
whether or
yeah,
not those are
yeah,
like
whatever. I'm
it's whether or not those are like
petty.
playable, right?
I can't make 50 engine work, man. God.
I
You
think
think I
you
could sit
actually
there and
the
draw
thing is, I
insane
think
for
you
12
actually
rounds?
can do that now because the Dice Smasher's gone. I think it's conceivable that it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Magical Musket is like, I don't know, it could be something.
I don't know
I'm
about
too
specifically
scared of them
that,
telling
but,
me
like,
to go first.
yeah.
I mean,
And
sure, like,
then my deck sucks.
I mean, they could still Fiendsmith combos. So
Yeah,
that's,
they
like,
can still make like
nothing.
Wave High King Caesar and some setup. It's not
I mean, it makes
awful.
Lacrima better, right?
Yeah.
Or it makes Track Fuse better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those cards are still at 3. So
Maybe we'll see people mess around with the other trap that nobody played because it was bad.
Oh, Kyrie.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And Monday.
What I will say about this ban list is
Yeah,
like as
were some
agonizing.
other,
oh, go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are just a bunch of random Fiendsmith cards that like nobody considered,
Yeah.
like playing, like just fusions and whatnot. So
Yeah, so
maybe.
for me, this ban list does do something interesting, which is it really opens up the meta to some sweeping changes across the board. Like we have the opportunity to see some really interesting decks come forward. But unfortunately, it also does something else, which we actually are going to get into with this next change here, which is Link Karibo to 1. I think Yummy, it's just outright the best deck in the room, bar none, without contention, right? Like,
I want to say yes and no.
Herald is at 1 now, so it's like 2 board breakers does just kind of clear them.
Oh, the deck only ever really made 1, right? Like,
well, they could make a
first one was
second on the opponent's turn, right?
Right. But the first one was the most important one.
So
Sure.
I think for current format, it only matters that you have 1. But I think post Dude, the second one came up a little bit more, and I think that the second one not being there, I don't think it matters that much. But like, I think if anything, Obedience School to 1 matters a lot more for that deck than Herald to 1, because like the second one was kind of like you were already winning. If you
well, obviously, yeah, the Obedience School to 1 is going to be more impactful than Herald to 1. But I mean, they get Link Karibo, which means that they get additional grind game on top of the fact that now the Marshmallow's coming out, which means that the best way to beat the deck, SP the field spell, suddenly not even how you beat the deck anymore.
That's true.
Like they got resilience, they got additional grind game, they got free extra better Link 1 starters just sort of because. It's now harder to kill them, easier for them to start. There's more cards that let them start if they're comfortable playing into the K9 cards to begin with. I think, yeah, you take away 2 starters with Obedience Schooled, but like that's not that big a deal. Like Marshmallow replaces those, right?
I'm not worried about going first when I'm talking about Obedience School. I'm talking about going second, though.
I mean, Thrust still searches the 1 copy.
I mean, yeah, you have Thrust and stuff, but like, I think that's Thrust becomes a mandatory part versus like draw. It's kind of like with Vanquish, so you wanted to draw the raise, and you want to draw the Obedience Schooled, and not having that kind of sucks now.
Yeah, I mean, the Obedience School is definitely a hit. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Obedience School to 1 is, I would take that over leaving it at 3 any day, but I just don't think that it's significant enough. Like, they're getting, look at what happened to Vanquish Soul, right? It lost 4 starters, 4 named starters that help make the deck consistent. Yummy loses 2 in Obedience Schooled and then technically gets up to 3, if not more, because of all the level 1 stuff that's coming off the list, if people want to goof around with it. So Yummy gets a buff post list when it was arguably already the best deck in the room. Maybe not the highest power ceiling, but best, I could argue, because it's the most consistent, and it does, it really just does set up some unfair boards if it goes first. Like, to me, they wanted a Yummy best deck meta with this list, and that's pretty clear based on the changes that they made. And it has me wondering, I posted about this on my Facebook, like, I said that I sort of ended my comment with, this list to me looks like we're going to need a ban list sooner rather than later. Like, I don't think we need to wait 5 months or 4 months for another ban list. I guess 5 months, right? I think what we need is 3 months from now, them to drop a ban list like around December.
Well, I guess to my thoughts on that is like, I mean, Yummy is probably the best deck, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, considering I feel like that deck is very easy to like build your deck to beat a lot of the time. Like, for example, I think this list buffed Draco Tail like crazy.
A lot, yeah.
And I think that deck has a very good Yummy matchup if you build for it. So I think that, like, I don't know, there's other decks that can rise. Like another deck is like Mitsurugi. That deck, aside from like Feral Imps, which doesn't matter for like pure Mitsurugi, I think Mitsurugi also has a crazy Yummy matchup, and that deck also got buffed a lot. And I don't know, I just think that I don't think that Yummy being the best deck is a bad thing.
I mean, that is a fair take. I mean, you look at the difference between Yummy being the best deck and K9VS being the best deck. It is certainly easier to break Yummy end boards than it is K9VS end boards. And it's certainly like they can't really play around Nib unless they go under 4 summons either. Whereas like K9VS could have just opened the 2 5s and Nib doesn't matter. So there's definitely, I won't disagree that Yummy being the better deck in the format is worse for the form. Like, I think it's better for the format if Yummy is the better deck, but I think it is just so, it is too apparent that the deck is like arguably buffed still. Like, losing Obedient School to 1 does not do enough to like nerf this deck.
That's fair. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. All right, we kind of got all over the place. I guess we could probably go back with like Summon Sorceress or something.
Yeah, what we bumped Obedient Schooled up to Link Rebo. Well, so let's stick with Link Rebo, right? Does anybody have anything else to say about Yummy and or Obedient Schooled and or Link Rebo? Okay. Moving down to Summon Sorc. We kind of talked about this a little bit with Malice. I guess we came to the conclusion that we don't really think that Summon Sorc is going to do much. Maybe there's some cool deck that gets to use it, and I personally like it for the concept of being able to turn off a lot of board breakers and or Yummy starters. So I think there's cool creative ways to use the card, but really what decks are going to be able to take advantage of that? So it's probably not. It probably doesn't matter.
I think the only relevant deck that it actually mattered for was Orcust, which if that deck's still relevant. But like, I don't think the problem with Orcust is that both of the good sub engines in that deck got hit in some way, and I don't know how playable Orcust is.
I don't really know that Feral Imps mattered much in Orcust.
I mean, it was one of the sub engines that you could play, and it does matter for that.
Well, I mean, like you can still play Mitsu Orcust because a lot of the time they were going into Din off of the Mitsu cards or Zombie Vampire to mill Orcust starters. So like most of the time Feral Imps wasn't even their way to access the Mitsu cards. So Mitsu Orcust is still, I would say, both viable and arguably a good build.
You can get to Orcust cards from Mitsu.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't get from you can't get from Mitsu. You can't get to Mitsu from Orcust. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just like, and then like Fiendsmith Moon is gone, obviously. So that hurts a lot. So I don't know. I think there will be uses for Summon Sorceress, but I think it's kind of somebody will have to cook with this, and I don't really want to dedicate brain power.
Yeah.
To myself.
You don't want to be the guy that cooks with it.
Yeah. I will be very proud of whoever does though. So
fair enough. That's a challenge to you, the viewers. Cook with this card.
But don't give me an Ibley, please.
That's funny. Anybody else on Summon Sorc? Cool. All right. Herald to 1. I mean, we talked about this with Yummy as well, right? Like, it doesn't really matter too much.
It buffs Draco Tail, kind of, not really.
Again, the first one's the problem, so.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, it doesn't really matter.
Voiceless Voice got a slight nerf with the Nadir engine, but again, the first one's the one that matters. So like, also, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, Zodiac Trident. We talked a little bit about this with Barrage. This could be a new Ryziel variant of Ryziel Zodiac, and I know Trey wanted to goof around with Zodiac Eldritch, but I don't think that this is going to matter all that much.
You could play
Some
Zodiac
MFP
Draco.
cards come out of left field and you look dumb.
True. Oh, well, what was the Zodiac Draco? That's true, right? Diagrams back at 3. Barrage can pop the spells and traps to search. I mean, we did play Zodiac Draco for a little bit there, right? Is Trey still here?
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's. I don't think Zodiac Draco is going to do anything, but
I was
I don't know.
mostly memeing with the new because I
Zo-
was like
Zodiac-
going over the new stuff.
Zodiac Eldritch could be fun to poke around with. Maybe
think-
it does something.
This ban list is really, really good for like fun casual play. Like this is a really good locals ban list for locals that don't have a bunch of people that play meta, right? Like that one locals in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina, that just has people that like to play fun decks. This is going to be a really good list for them. Okay, Crystron Inclusion. I feel like.
All right, let me talk about this.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
A ton of Crystron this week. This I'm kind of surprised they hit it at all because I didn't think that this deck was gonna be like on their radar in terms of things that needed to be hit. But I think this hit. I don't think it makes the deck unplayable, but it matters a lot because a lot of the time this was like your best starter extender, especially under Droll. But also like a lot of the time a common line you would do is like if you had like one of your 5s, you would go like inclusion, search the other 5, and then like Solfafnir effect, discard the 5 that you searched, summon it, and then pop the inclusion. And then you use the inclusion to revive the Sulfador. So like even if you got like Ashed on Sulfador, you could still make Ripper and stuff. And that line isn't really as strong anymore without having multiple copies of inclusion in your deck.
Okay.
There's also just like a lot. There's a bunch of random lines. It's also the other thing that happens is that your grind is significantly worse because instead of being able, you basically all the Crystron cards are out of your deck after like turn 1 usually, and you basically always have to put inclusion back now instead of putting back like Tristeros or a Synchro 7 in the event that your trap got removed from the field. I don't know. Your grind is just so much worse. I think it. But that being said, like if you go first and do the thing, you may just have to lean into K9 cards a lot more. Which I mean, you already did that, right? But like,
yeah,
the testing I've been doing with Naroi specifically has just been, I usually play like quote unquote pure K9, and if I see like a back row in my opponent's hand, that's when I lean into the Crystron stuff. But like now it's a little bit hard. Your hands where you're playing like pure Crystron quote unquote are a lot worse.
Well, I hope you guys bought your QCR Link Karibos prior to 2 hours ago because they just jumped up like $40 in price.
That's crazy.
Okay, so this was a good Crystron hit then. My initial reaction when I saw it was like, okay, well they're trying to make the K9 VS players not feel as bad by also slapping K9 Crystron's consistency on the wrist. I guess I didn't really think that this was as big of a hit as I thought it was. So that's cool. Thank you for the insight on that.
And again, it doesn't make the deck unplayable. It's definitely a lighter hit than Vanquish Soul got, but it does matter.
Okay.
It's also like if you get hand trapped when you're comboing and you've used the inclusion effect, it matters a lot. I think the last thing I'll bring up is going second. It also matters because a lot of the time you would like use Sulfador to dump a second inclusion and a 5, so that if they like interacted with you, you could just like put more 5s on your board after you had your Jokul and your Sulfador get booked by Cookie or whatever. So like, yeah, it matters a lot.
Okay. All right. Anybody else on Inclusion to 1? I feel like Alistair covered everything pretty well there. Awesome. All right. So bouncing around after Obedience School, we've already talked about that, and Stake Your Soul is Solemn Judgment. Now, we talked a little bit about this with the Lightning Storm to 3. I think this continues that conversation of, you know, is Konami intentionally trying to make board breakers better with the new cards that search droplets or like interact with droplets, and Lightning Storm going to 3, and, you know, Yummy being a deck that both plays and loses to board breakers. Like, I mean, I know Brian's answer is no, but do we think that this is an intentional shift towards board breakers away from hand traps? Or kind of like just something because Judgment was basically well, we have to throw this at 3 in every side deck type of situation.
I'd say that you could argue that they could be trying to make games faster because, you know, the new time rules, and like, you know, just like you can just brain off, throw Lightning Storms in your side deck now. But I think the bigger argument is that Judgment's just a really good card.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not worried about paying half in time, you can just throw it in your side deck and it doesn't matter. So I don't know. I'm actually not opposed to this at all. And I feel like most of the decks that are like quote unquote back row decks or like whatever other decks have their own searchable like equivalent or like a slightly worse equivalent. Like, for example, I think Iron Thunder is a very well designed card. Like, it's Judgment, but there is like real downside to it, you know? It's like it blows up everything that's in the column of the destroyed card. So like, even if they're not like fully wiping your board, they're still getting like a 2-for-1 trade out of it, which is like, I don't know. I think that's good card design.
When a spell trap card or a monster effect is activated on the field, pay half your life points to negate the activation. If you do destroy that card, then destroy all of the cards in the same column the destroyed card was in that are in the monster zones or spell trap card zones. Interesting.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, Dragon's Mind, or just, you know, more niche versions of Judgment that have like real downside. So I don't know. I think that there's like design space that can be explored there.
Well, I'm going to pick up my copies of Iron Thunder right now, just to be safe.
You didn't tell me you never played Dynamorphia without
I have never played Dynamorphia. I have zero interest in playing that deck.
Coward. You don't even lose to people slow playing you anymore.
Anybody else on Solemn Judgment to 1? It certainly feels a lot safer to normal summon Rosin the one time that we draw it in an entire tournament. So
Still got to deal with Solemn Warning.
That's true. Oh, now there's other Solemns that are going to get played. Well, at least I can board break. I can activate Feather Duster a little bit more safely. Okay, moving on to the Forbiddens. This, oh, bro, you Starlight Road somebody? Huge.
That'd be crazy.
Okay, so let's talk about the Forbidden Limited list. So this is one that I think everyone should be on pretty similar stances with. Like, this is a really good banned section. I don't know if there's anything controversial here whatsoever.
It's missing Featherstorm. That's the only controversial thing.
That's true. Featherstorm not being on here, I think, was actually a horrible decision. Now, we do have some Malice players. I think there was one guy that...
Shifter is still at 1.
Shifter's still at 1. Yeah, like, there's definitely things missed. And there's somebody who was upset about...
Banshee should probably be on here.
About Splash Mage getting hit. They certainly did not go...
Put it back.
Yeah, they certainly did not go hard enough on the bans, but I think that the cards that were banned, we can pretty comfortably say, yeah, that I'm cool with that.
I still think Mitsu Raizio was a cool deck that just needed some touch up, and I think killing it with King of the Feral Imps is like kind of brutal.
I still think Mitsu Raizio is kind of playable, to be honest.
No, it is not. Like, you literally cannot bridge to your Mitsu cards with like Raizio cards.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, you're literally gonna look at your hand of like Murakumo, trap card, and 3 Raizio cards and just be like, fuck.
No, that's true. Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't think about it. Raizio Fiendsmith is probably more playable than Raizio Mitsu is.
Yeah, I think Raizio Fiendsmith is like not completely fake.
Yeah, because at least there's a bridge there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do any of y'all have Eldritch cards you're trying to move? I kind of want to mess with that deck, and
Let me
I'd
see
rather
if I have.
buy
If you want to
them
like
from
if you
BCG
want to
player.
borrow them, I can loan them to you. I just don't feel like selling them.
You don't have like cursed lands though, right? That's kind of important.
I have 2.
Well, okay, you need 3, but
I know.
okay. Brendan or Brian or Hunter.
Well, suddenly I want to keep my copies of my Eldritch cards.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I don't have
like, okay.
I gotta go. I'll see y'all later.
Yep. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here. All right. Taking a look at the Moon of the Closed Heaven. I mean, Brian, you were wanting this for God knows how long.
Oh yeah, thank God.
Yeah, I think I had heard you talk about how this hit needed to happen for the last like 2 or 3 ban lists. So I'm sure you are happy right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this whole band section. Like I mean, we already covered this. They could have hit more stuff, but you know, in terms of like what is here, it's pretty good. Like I'm not even. I mean, in my Banlist video, I was saying that like I would rather like Splash Mage and Wicked get banned than like them touch any more Malice cards.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would turn Malice away from a turn 1 combo deck into something that maybe has potential as like more mid-rangey or like control-y, but yeah, no, I like King of the Pharaoh Imps. I like decoupling Mitsu from like any deck that can make a rank 4. And you know, so Paradise always had to go. Like it's crazy how degenerate this card is, but yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that card was for sure like just had to go.
What do you mean? If it gets ogred, you lose the 50-50. You throw a YCS that you could have won.
Okay, the craziest part is if you get ogred on Paradise, I mean, you still have I mean, like you said, it's a 50-50.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it doesn't even fully stop it.
I still can't believe like that. Why? Because he didn't need to make it. Like the guy that played against Triff in the finals of Vancouver did not need to make Paradise Smashers. He could have just made a normal end board and won, and he did not do that. Hunter, anything on the band cards?
No, I think they're all fine.
Is there anything on here that you guys would have liked to have seen that was not included?
I mean, Banshee for one, I guess, or Protoss, like Trey said.
Yeah, just get rid of Protoss. That's the problem card.
Yeah.
Like,
although I mean, Eschatos did see like a little bit of experimentation. It's like, well, if you just want to just remove that whole line altogether, then Banshee would be like the link there.
Mm-hmm.
But
anything else? I know Featherstorm was mentioned.
yeah, that card
needs
needs to go.
I wish they would just ban Called By.
Yeah, dude, Call
That's
By and
good.
Cross Out. Please just ban those cards. Please and thank you.
Like at least Crossout isn't seeing much play right now, but like Called By on like Charmies is like so annoying. It's like Charmies already get stopped most of the time by Ash, but yeah, it's just annoying.
We had an interesting comment on the YouTube. I feel Mitsurugi Yummy is going to be the deck this format. What do you think about it? I got minimum top 8 over 3 OTS and a regional on it pre-dude, but I feel it only gets better then. And I'm bad, LOL. Like Mitsu Yummy has a consistent bridge, gaps both decks' weaknesses, and the VSK9 matchup, which it got weaker into for a better Draco matchup, is a lot weaker now. What's the bridge between Mitsu and
Mitsurugi deck right now? And God, this deck is just disgusting.
What'd you say, Hunter? Which deck?
I forgot how disgusting this deck was.
Mitsu?
Yeah, just like ending on like Futsu control.
Yeah, like IP Futsu set 4 pass is actually crazy still.
Yeah, like he activated Izuna at the end of my main phase, and I'm like, okay, I will attempt to pen 3 guys for free.
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
Soul Charge.
Shut up.
Murakumo pop anyway, like. Yeah,
That
I
shit's
mean,
overrated.
Wait, what is the yummy Mitsu bridge that the
Herald.
commenter was talking about?
Herald is the bridge
Herald.
because it lets you search ritual cards.
But
Yes, but now you can't, like,
the
define
Herald
Yeah,
that,
off,
but
or-
but you
like-
have to get rid of Herald links to Mitsu, and you can shuffle it back off Zombie Cat, then make Herald again.
Zombie Cat.
Sorrow Cat.
Oh, the synchro Samsara Sorrow Cat.
Yeah.
Samsara Sorrow.
That's kind of cute, I guess.
What is this card?
Shami Sen Samsara Sorrow Cat.
Okay, all right. So, Shami. There we go. Once per chain during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect. So, synchro summon uses card you control. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's good for Yummy just in general. Like they already make cards that sort of do something. I guess they don't, right? Wonder if Formula Sync runs these play. Like if they do play like Glow Up Bulb and shift over to like Formula Synchron stuff. I don't know. Again, it like introduces the thing with like Mitsu Yummy, right? Is that it introduces cards that make it play into K9 now, right? But hey, if they're going to be playing Mitsu Yummy and this is a bridge and that actually becomes a real thing, then maybe cards like Glow Up Bulb start to see more play because, well, if I'm already going to be playing into these cards anyway, right? If it's you can turn one of their single. Wow. This is just like a free tuner summon back that puts Herald back and then you just make Herald again. Wait, that's crazy.
Is it?
It's really creative. I don't know if it's good, but it's creative.
Yeah, it's creative for sure.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's pretty neat. 8 Mitsu and 2 Synchro. You can do this and hold your surprise to play with your Synchro. It also makes Chaos Angel. It makes Light Dark Chaos Angel. Mitsu to Yummy is just zombie. Yeah, zombie vampire. So Mitsu, in quotes, bridges into Yummy with zombie vampire. And Yummy bridges into Mitsu off of the cat stuff. That's pretty neat. I'm not going to lie. That's cool. Yeah, if you want to drop a replay in the Discord, Forg, that'd be nice. I'd be interested in seeing this. Thank you for that. That's cool. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'm certainly interested in it. All right. Anything from anybody else? Any final statements? Anybody want to talk about anything in particular, or are we good? Anything from Twitch chat or YouTube? You can use a gravity controller for zombie vampire or to get rid of Herald the Search. What?
He's saying you can put the Herald in the extra monster zone, then link it off.
Oh, yeah. For the link one that you can then use to synchro with. Or summon Yummy cards from hand. This is actually really creative. I like this. That's really cool. Forg, thank you. This is neat. I'm appreciative. What do we think about Ouroboros not getting hit? Do we think that that's okay? Right? Because I remember Hunter was actually talking about how the new correct way, I guess so to speak, to play Ryziel is probably just go back to the heraldic and start hand looping.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the problem with like this is sort of why I thought that the Mitsu Ryziel stuff was like good, but had a few pieces to touch up. One of them being Ouroboros, another being Featherstorm. Yeah, they killed the deck, and so now Ryziel is pretty much only playable in either the Toxic way or I guess you can play the Fiendsmith version, but I think there are probably better Fiendsmith deck. Yeah.
Does this mean that Droll has to stay in our side decks?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Shucks, I was hoping that it would not be as good.
I mean, it was probably going to have to stay there anyway, but
I mean, I guess we'll see because, like, I mean, Herodic Raizio was like good even before this, right? And I
well,
didn't really see all that much play.
yeah. I mean, the whole format got weaker, so it's about sort of finding like what you can play instead, I guess.
I mean, I feel like it's just going to be Draco Tail and Yummy running away at the start, and maybe some adjustments get made over time. But I mean, certainly other decks could come out of the woodworks, right? Fiendsmith decks, Memento, maybe Yubel potentially, like Pure Mitsu might come back. Orcus Mitsu's still viable. Rolling Rise is really annoying. Had a guy at locals keep playing it for the past few months. Feels like rolling the dice for who wins every time you played him, and still had Protoss to call light against Yummy. Yeah.
You know, Brendan, maybe it's time to go back to our roots.
I was just thinking that, Brian. That's so crazy you said that. I was just about to say, hey, Brian, how do you feel about playing Striker with me?
I mean, Striker is like good.
Yeah.
I mean, Droll was always an issue for the deck, and I mean, it like board breaker versions of Striker like can perform very well into Yummy. I mean, we were just saying that like Yummy is susceptible to like you can build your deck to beat Yummy if you do it like very like consciously, right? So I mean, Striker is one of the decks that can do that. I don't know how good Striker is into Draco Tail, but like I mean, going second, like if I'm playing against Striker and I'm going first, I'm always like terrified, I feel.
Mm. Yeah, that's it. It's a little scary, right? Because you sort of, you know that you need to be setting up negates because otherwise you're cooked. Like I against Striker, because I've been playing against it a lot because Willie's been playing it at locals recently, and I think I've played him like 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks. I played him last night or Wednesday night too. So yeah, it's probably been like 4 times since he got back from Paris with him on Striker. And I've just been like, okay, I'm just going to start giving you a body with Quinquery and then making Durandal and praying. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Usually it doesn't work because he always opens the friggin' field spell. Always does. I might go back to playing Striker. I mean, I've got the deck. I bought my zeros and my Lemnis Gates. The deck's good. It's scary. It's hard to prepare against. I guess the only issue that I have is like, if it becomes popular, anti-spell is going to be running around again.
Well, I think I'll take a 1 of like counter.
Yeah. I mean, we saw how well that went for Willie at Worlds, right? The 1 of counter Tikaboo ruining his run in a game that he was absolutely going to win otherwise. Like,
yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see what decisions we all make going forward, what decks we choose to play, how we innovate for the format. I think after talking to you guys and hanging out, Fiora Lee, hello, hi Fiora Lee. Train of thought. I think after talking to you guys, I don't feel as like physically ill as I did originally seeing the ban list. Like my initial reaction to seeing Rosin to 1 and Stake Your Soul to honestly, Stake Your Soul to 1 I was totally fine with. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. I can just throw 2 thrust in there. We can play something else like Small World.
at some point you were even considering cutting Stake Your Soul to 2, right?
Yeah.
It just shows that like Stake Your Soul is like not really that necessary.
But Rosin to 1 hurt a lot. I'm gonna have to do some soul searching here for a little bit. I'm gonna enjoy playing the deck at full power tomorrow at the Worlds. Some Vanquish soul searching. Yes.
You're gonna do that less often now with one reason.
I know.
Too soon.
Don't remind me. It's okay. I got really good value out of the deck. So last night or Wednesday night I was playing the mirror round 5 and the dude summoned his Azuna into my Rosin column. And I was like, sure. He goes lupus effect. I'm like, sure, Rosin effect, the column pop Azuna, and he just pauses for half a second, goes, oh my god, I'm so stupid.
Everybody makes
that felt really nice.
At some point.
I'm gonna miss doing that as often as possible.
Well, that's how you learn from it. You do it once and then it gets burned into your, like, literally carved into your memory.
Oh yeah. No, I'm really going to enjoy playing the deck at full power one last time this Saturday at the World Celebration Envelope Tournament. And then we'll see what happens. Maybe I stick with it.
Is that this Saturday?
It is for us. We postponed it a little bit, which is funny because Willie's going to get to play in his own World Celebration. We were laughing. We were like, Willie, if you go to Paris and you win Worlds and you come back here and you win the World Celebration, I'm going to be so mad. But now's a redemption arc time for him. He has the opportunity to make a comeback here.
Well, he is Nats champion, so
yeah,
what a bit past him, yeah.
All right. Anything else from anybody? Any other questions, comments, concerns, feedback, suggestions, things to discuss going forward, decks that we would like to look into? Trey, I think it'd be cool for you to stream and cook with Eldritch Zodiac. Yeah, that'd be a cool stream. Do you want to try doing that later tonight?
Not tonight. I mean, we should wait for the ban list to go live on Omega before doing.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking of the high octane like Dark Ruler into like tanky into normal summon into Borbo into attack into overlay for 6 material Zeus.
Yeah.
6 material Zeus Brian. Because we have Trident now, and yeah. And then set 4 pass.
It's just so crazy.
Well, set 3. Well, no, set 4 because it'd be going second. So yeah.
Oh, Forgo says we're awesome. I appreciate you, Forgo. I'm excited to look into this Mitsu Yummy deck. If it ends up being something that we were like, oh wait, this is crazy, I'd love to make a video on it. Obviously, we'll give you cred for the idea. Trey, are you still going to try Salamangreat?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, some of these, like, older strategies might be able to come back in, because it did feel like for a little while there, a lot of these, certainly, like, basically since Ryziel and Malice have been around, we haven't been sort of in this, like, dip in the format in terms of, like, you know, lower power level overall. So a lot of rogue decks were sort of feeling, like, pushed out. So yeah, I think it's worth trying out Salad. I think it's interesting to see, you know, maybe some other decks like Sword Soul, like more sort of fair-ish type decks. I guess Sword Soul has Protoss, and they just haven't had like they've just been like pushed out of the format so much by everything else existing.
It's funny. Forgo just said, "Oh, Salad has a silly FTK. It's so funny, brother. We invented it." We literally invented the FTK. There was a different FTK that used Snake Eye cards that my buddy Max made, but like the Salad FTK that uses Inari Fire with just Salamangreat cards. Literally, Trey and I spent like 2 weeks and like a notebook tracking the combo route to invent a line that makes Salad FTK. I think we played it. We played it at Nats in 2023, right? Or no, 2024. 2024.
You did, I think. I don't know what I played. What did I play? I think I played Bright Fiendsmith.
You played for it, yeah, that's right. Because I had to scramble to get the engravers for you. That's right. Yeah, I played the Salad FTK. Brian, I think you played Pearly.
I think so. I think I got turned off by the deck when I just bricked way too many times with it. Like
Yeah.
up nets.
No, I scrubbed out round 9 because I opened all hand traps going first and all engine going second. And I was just like, wow, that sucks.
I mean, it's nice that certainly Salad didn't get touched at all. Like Splash Mage doesn't, that doesn't matter.
They haven't played Splash Mage since like 2019, if they even played it back then, really.
Yeah. So that doesn't matter. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I will say Alistair and I were wanting to see Fua maybe go to the semi limit.
Maybe
that card still being
I don't know. Like
still being at 3 is like kind of unfortunate.
Like all the turn 0 gameplay that's happening right now makes me not freak out about it. Oh, you know what else we haven't talked about at all is Blue Eyes.
What is there to talk about?
Do we think that it makes a comeback at all here? I don't know, right? Because Droll and Nib are still as good into it as it always was, but Droll's going to see less play. And I mean, it can still play the Primite cards, so it still does have an infinite game loop. Like, it's really good into Canine because you make a Spirit Dragon, suddenly Jokel doesn't do anything. And you can negate the Lupus Engrave. Like, maybe it's something worth looking at. I don't know. It certainly didn't get any stronger itself, but the format around it got weaker.
It's always been fine. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think its position is going to change all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna go to my card shop and try to see if they have any striker cards.
Fair enough. You didn't keep a striker deck together?
No, I have a striker deck. I don't have the new cards.
Oh, okay.
I need to get Zero and Limnus Gate.
Gotcha.
And, Temperance and whatever.
Yeah, we picked up Trey and I picked up 6 copies of Lemnis Gate, or no, 4 copies because I think I had 1. So I got Trey his 3 copies. I got me a second one, and then Hunter gave me a third one. And then I picked up my third Zero when we were watching the Worlds list, like the Worlds competition, because I'm like, Zero is probably going to go up. So we just bought it.
Oh, that was a pretty good investment.
Oh, yeah. All right. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me for this. This was a lot of fun, despite it being painful. Looking forward to seeing what is going to come from this format. So thank you all for joining us for this discussion. Excited to see what happens.